Hello boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Evgeny Smirnov here from Aurosonic, and you're watching my third video blog. Today I'm gonna reply to a lot of questions you've sent me and show some of the replies in my projects. For example, Tears or See the Sun, Helpless. They all have the same famous Aurosonic plug, and a lot of people want to know how did I produce it, some tricks, hints I'm used, etc. Got a lot of questions from you, both from YouTube, Facebook and wiki.com sites. There are a lot of questions about reverbs, compression, mix down, vocal, bass, equalizing, about stereo works, kick, lead plugs, etc. Today I'm gonna show, because there's too much questions and I can't figure out all of them in one video blog, so I'll be replying in several blogs. And today we will talk about Aurosonic plug, like in our remix to See the Sun and Tears. Okay, let's open, for example, Tears project. Just upgraded my Cubase to 6.05 version. Hope it will work stable. Okay, this project is loading. Pretty massive project, as you can see. Loading took a lot of time. Okay, here's our project, and here's our sound. I've used a lot of automation for this plug. Pretty massive chords here, from D2 note to A4. Let's make a loop region. Okay, what I've used here is Gladiator synth. The preset I was started with was in lead category, patch called SY plug synth. Don't know exactly which parameters I've changed. I know I've changed unison, a bit more spread, depth. I've changed reverb to was something different. Here I've changed to reverb small. Did maximum size, maximum damp, and did automation for mix, for cutoff, automation for drive, automation, as you can see. Did a bit of changes in delay section here and here, and don't know what else, don't remember exactly, but I think we will try to create a new project today with Aurosonic plug from the beginning till the final sound, and I'll show you how we will try to reproduce it maximally closer to Aurosonic sound in all projects. What I've used in insert section for this sound is Equaliser, FabFilter Pro Q, one of my favorites because it has an analyzer, nice presets, 48 dB cutoff for low and high frequencies, which is pretty nice, and it looks pretty nice and sounds very nice. I've used standard Cubase delay, compressor as well, standard from Cubase, used built-in free sidechain. I'm using it for all of my sounds everywhere. I've used multiband, removed everything below 50 Hz because not much information here in this section. Okay, and one of my favorite plugins for compression as well is Strip. Used it for almost every sound which need to be compressed in my project, like bass, plugs, leads, etc. Very nice sounding plug. Okay, what's here else? FabFilter Simplon. I've used it for automation of low frequencies, as you can see here, and here. And I've used Equaliser from the end. I've used nice filter by Chebyshev, well-known Russian mathematics scientist. It sounds very clear and warm and don't know how to say. Sorry for my English, and not much words I know in English, and not so often I'm speaking live without any preparing. So hope you can understand me at least. Okay, and that's pretty all I've used. And I've used send effects to my favorite reverb, which is Arts Acoustic reverb with a preset ambient dance long, a bit modified. Well, here it is not modified, but usually I'm modifying it by maximizing room size. It says roll on maximum, and the tail of decay reverb not much than 9 seconds. And of course you should remove low frequencies, but this equalizer is not so good, so you should use additional equalizer after reverb to remove low frequencies and some of high frequencies. No, it's not critical, but better to remove them. Okay, that's pretty all for my plug in TS project. Let's try to recreate this plug from the beginning. Forgot to say, some of people asked me to say the same plug in my Caesar soundtrack, so let's open it and see how it sounds there. As you can see the sound not so huge, like Tears project, opened much faster. But it's still a hit, worldwide hit, and sounds pretty nice. Okay, what we have here for Aurosonic plug? The same data synth with the same preset, a bit less unison spread and depth, maybe something other changes, don't remember exactly, it was produced 3 years ago, so, and a bit different inside section. Actually there is no rules in production for me, because I'm using my ears only to produce similar sound. You can realize anything with any other plugins. Just use your ears to tweak sounds, to sound them similar to my sounds, for example. Okay, how it sounds here. Let's make a loop region and listen to it. As I told earlier in my other video blogs, previous first and second blog, I'm using 2 layers here, one in Gladiator synth and one Albina, but Albina synth is pretty quiet and subtle sounding, more for atmosphere, but when they sound together you can actually hear how there's some space and reverb. Let's listen if some girls were the cutoff more open. For bass in CSN I've used Nexus preset, pretty standard. From expansion analog or not, yeah, from analog expansion BA distortion square, some tweaks added to it, automation for cutoff removed, reverb, etc. and some tweaks for release sustain in amp mode and filter mode. Actually, not much people heard, but See the Sun was sounded a bit different to current sound. I've tried to make some vocal chops like Andy Moore likes to use. Let me show you how it was sounded before. Let's find my See the Sun folder. 2008. No, 9. See the Sun vocal cuts. I think this one. Let's listen to it. Yep, it's it. Well, this was one of versions, the Sun remix, but my data didn't like it, so the final release was without these cuts, and I don't have these cuts in my project, but they are muted. You can listen. They sound a bit different compared to previous cut, but you can listen how it sounds here. Some people asked me the chords to See the Sun. Here how they looks like. The bass holds, not chords, but single notes. Anyway. Here you can hear how Albina adds additional space to our plug. And single, it sounds pretty easy, simple, and not so cool. Okay, it was the sum. Let's see some other questions we got for our blog. Sorry guys, I haven't time to prepare my blog, so I do all randomly. You know, I haven't a lot of free time, so sorry. Reverb. Reverb. It was Arts Acoustic. Okay, let's create new project and we'll try to reply to all questions in our project. Start new project. More empty. Let it be 128 BPM. Okay, we add instrument track with our synth Gladiator. Choose our preset for Aurosonic plug lead SY plug synth and listen how it sounds. That's how it sounds untweaked without any additional plugins placed to insert and send fixes. Okay, let's try to make some chords, some melody and tweak it. I'm usually using chords with 3 or 4 notes playing at the same time. Actually 3 notes. Sorry, I didn't know musical theory, so I use everything according to my ears. So let it be A note as a root note, copy it, how it sounds, let's try. I think this one is too low. Okay. And this one. Something like this. Okay, sounds already nice without any tweaks. And let's try to add some differences to it. Sounds pretty tragic, as I like. You know, almost all of my tracks are in minor, not major, and I like some tragic sounds. That's what I usually start from. Somebody asked me in questions, let's see it. I think it's in others. Yes, here are these questions. Hello, my question is, how do you usually start your new track or remix? With the main melody, or from bass, kick drum, or percussions? Here's how I start, usually from melody. If I'm producing remix, I'm trying to make chords for vocals firstly, and after that I'm doing maybe some kick and bass, trying to find some loops for my tracks. I'm usually using loops. Sometimes I'm just taking any elements from loops. I'll show you later how I do it. And rarely I'm using my own custom percussions, hi-hats, etc., because it takes a lot of time for me, and I'm usually haven't much time, so I prefer to use loops. I know it's not the best way for music producer, but anyway, as it is, I'm using commonly loops. Okay, here we have basic melody called Aurosonic, with Aurosonic plug and tweaked, just a preset from Gladiator. Let's try to find some maybe loop for it. Here's how I do it. I'm using Cubase Media Bay or loop browser for my loops. I have huge collection of loops and other samples. I just categorize them not so far by categories like clap, snares, crash, fix, fills, heads, kicks, kits, loops, percussion, tonal vocals, etc. And that's how I'm usually finding loops for my track. Just starting my project, Cubase has nice loop browser built in. It automatically synchronize loop, even if it don't know its BPM. It tries to calculate it and do it pretty nice. So here we have, for example, from Vengeance Essential House loops. Let's try to find some nice sounding loop. Okay, like this one. Insert it into project, duplicate. Okay, I'm usually using for almost 5 of my recent projects. I've used the same kick drum. It was from Deadmau5 Kicks. I think it was Deadmau5 another kick. 016, this one. I've used it for See the Sun, Tears, Helpless remix, and I think for something else, but in any cases with some of changes. For example, in Helpless I've used layer kick of this one and plus some other kick, more low and with sub frequencies, which sounded nice for me. But let's use the kick I'm usually using for my tracks. This one. Okay, let's do some side chain from our kick using built-in Cubase compressor. Okay, you can already hear it's pumping. Let's tweak a bit it. And I prefer to use sidechain for loops as well. So let's add compressor to our loop. Too much time, I think it should be a bit lower. Threshold and ratio. So it's gain reduction like 3 to 6 dB. Let's try to tweak our main plug sound. As I told, I've used tube and drive here, which adds a bit dirtiness to the track, but when you use it with automation it sounds pretty nice sometimes. Here we're changing to reverb small, makes maximum damp, and mix should be lower. You can hear some distortion here. Let's down a bit our sound level. We will push it up our master section later. Okay, let me show you how do I usually fill out my master section with plugins. My favorite limiter is FabFilter limiter. I've tried a lot of limiters and my favorite ATM is FabFilter. Where it is? Mix FabFilter Pro L. My favorite limiters is FabFilter and Invisible, but lately I prefer FabFilter limiter. Just try some presets here. I like how transparent sounds usually for my tracks. Transparent remix, it's here. Oversampling 4, dithering. We are using 32 bits, so we will our final render will be to wave 44.1 16 bits, so this rank will be 16 bits. And before limiter, it's last my insert chain. I'm using compressor. My favorite compressor for master section is Waves AP 2500. Here it is. Just a start point. I'm using mastering 1 preset with a bit lower release and compression ratio 3:1. I think it's too high for master section. I'm using commonly 1.5:1. Everything other looks like nice for me. Maybe this one should be turned off because it adds some noise. Okay, this one was a single band compressor for my master section. I like as well to use sounds exciter from VSL Exciter, Vienna Suite XL. side tone. Add some brightness to my tracks, but don't overdo it. It should be not much, like 20%. And what I use, the last step, is multiband compressor from VSL as well, one of my favorite multiband compressor. Turn off the mode, turn off limiter, and try to tweak it. We have like 8 dB, 9 dB gain reduction, so for low frequencies like 8 dB gain, mid-low frequencies as well. Don't overdo it, because it will build sound too muddy. Just a bit. Mid frequencies, high frequencies. I'm usually turn on gain in limiter section, so the RMS level is about 8 minus 8 dB here. Okay, that's pretty common my master section chain. I'm usually producing with already turned on all my master plugins, so I can hear what I'm getting from my sounds. I don't like to make mastering at last when the whole track already done. I prefer to use it while I'm producing my track, mixing it down. Okay, let's add my favorite reverb to FX channel. It's reverb, arts, acoustics, presets, factory input defined for synth lint, ambient dance long. That's my usual preset I'm starting with. Let's try how it sounds with sounds from our Gladiator synth. Oops, sorry. This should be like always on. You already can hear an extra space added by this reverb, but don't overdo it, because too much reverb is not good. You can always use it in your automation section. Let me show you how I usually do automation for my tracks. For example, this one, lead. Write an optimizing drive, cut off, reverb, and this one, this one. Okay, let's see which automation we recorded. Here they are. Let's colorize them to different colors so we can easily tweak them further. Okay, here we have Gladiator drive automation. Let's turn it off for now. Cut off automation. Gladiator reverb, built-in reverb automation, and our send effects automation. I've used this trick in Tears project, my remix for Tears. Sound like this, sounds like tremolo. Actually it is automation for built-in to Gladiator reverb. Sounds like tremolo, but pretty nice sound. And I use automation for send towards acoustic reverb. Drives gives extra fatness to sound, but you can actually hear it better when the cutoff. Okay, how it sounds all together. That's the basics for Aurosonic blog. Hope you understood how I did it. Anyway, you can always re-watch this video blog and try to recreate the sound by yourself. It's not so hard as I think. And another one tricks I forgot to say about, try to use sidechain for your long tail reverb as well. I mean Arts acoustic reverb. It will give you some extra punch and space for your mix. and will let you to use more reverb in your mix. As you can see, I didn't even use any insert preset except compression, sidechain compression for my plug, and it already sounds pretty nice as for me. All of other inserts I'm using is commonly for when the whole mix will be done. It won't sound as well as when the mix is empty, so all other tweaks I'm using when the project is already done to make my plug fit well in mix. That's it. Equaliser as well. Remove some low frequencies from reverb as well. Sounds a bit muddy, but you can change it by tweaking equalizers, etc. Let's add some bass. For example, bass from our Season soundtrack, Nexus 2. Where it is? Here it is. Nexus preset stays bass. Sidechain compression as well, the bass. Let's try to add some additional loops, for example. Where they are. Let's try some vengeance loops as well. Okay, for example, I like this one. Just wanna take crash sound from it, because overall this loop sounds too funky for me, but I like crash clap here, or snare, don't know what it's exactly, but let's try to extract just this one sound. Let me show you how I do it usually. Let's import loop here to project. Here's how sound. I did bind for my keyboard hotkey, Ctrl 1, it adds silence to a selected area. So let's leave just this clap sound and remove everything other sound. This one ends too quick, so let's use fade out, for example. Select process, fade out, linear, fade out, okay. Let it be one shorter and one longer. Let's try how it sounds in project. Sounds nice for me. Don't know how you like it, but it's okay for me. And everything together. Let's make some arrangement. Add some effects. Let's try some vengeance effects uplifter. Another one great thing for Cubase loop browser or Media Bay, it has a duration. For example, I need to find some long uplifter. I just use duration and sort it by its length. Here's the longest one, 21 seconds. No, not this one. This one sounds nice for me. Let's put it here. Add some crash effects. Vengeance house crash. Okay, let it be this one. Just a quick example. Some automation. I wanna make my sound to be very dry when the kick starts in. So how I do it? And let's make automation. Something like this one. So it will be growing with a fix later. Let's try how it sounds. Okay, that's the basics. I'm working with my tracks. Hope you could anything understand from my speech. Sorry when I speak real time. Sometimes some words I don't know and everything goes randomly. So sorry for this. But at least you have seen everything I did. So you can try to recreate this one in your own projects. And let's see which questions was as well here. I remember I promised to reply to questions about which samples do I prefer. Let me show them from my unsorted collection, which was sorted by vendors. Let's open it. Here they are. Okay, that's my sound samples collection. My favorites are Vengeance, of course. Actually, you can use just Vengeance because there is a lot of stuff and they have anything you need for your production. And pretty nice sorted already, any of them. You have claps, bass drums, hi-hats, fixed loops, percussion, etc. Another quality samples I can recommend you are from Multimedia. It's Ultimate Beats, Vol 1 and Vol 2. It is with Alchemy. Sounds pretty nice and clean. I like as well Sound of Revolution collection. Sounds nice. I don't like Loop Masters. They are almost all of them sounds pretty dirty for me. And what else? Don't know. Some from Sample Magic. You can find here nice samples like Tool Room collection or Paolo Mojo collection, Organic House collection. Some nice samples there. Just try different samples. Anything you could like, any samples I don't like. I don't know everyone have its own taste, so try different samples. Okay, all the samples. I saw Mixmaster icon on your desktop in previous blog. Please tell about it. What do you do with it? Yes, here is my Mixmaster. I usually use it for mixing down some tracks or guest mixes. Didn't produce guest mixes for a long time, but anyway, I did use it earlier, and it has pretty nice built-in K analyzer and BPM analyzer, which works pretty nice for me. For example, you have a new track, you don't know its root K, you can easily check it with this one. Okay, other questions. Did reply for this one about how do I start my new track. Please tell what do you think about Fruity Loops. Is it better than Cubase? No, I don't think so. I didn't use Fruity Loops for a long time, since 2004, yeah. But I think it's very nice. I saw a few tests about sound quality from different hosts, though, digital audio workstations, and there was no difference at all. The only difference is the how comfortable work with them for you. I prefer Cubase, someone prefer Fruity Loops. I know Artie prefer Fruity Loops for production, Omnia prefer Fruity Loops, etc. Just work with any host you like. They all sound pretty similar. So I like Cubase, someone like Fruity Loops. No matter. It's already 15 minutes for this video. I think I should finish it in 1 hour. My blogs will be 1 hour range, I think, because I removed limitation from YouTube of 50 minutes. I hope they won't ban me for these blogs, because they don't allow to play music, even if it's my own music. They don't allow to show different labels, software, etc. And I did it. Hopefully they won't ban me. And okay guys, sorry, I should finish now. Have no free time. We'll try to produce new blog for you a bit later. And we'll try to a lot of other questions in my next video blogs. See you guys, and don't forget, don't know how to say, to visit our resources like Facebook, vk.com, Aurosonic PDG.ru, etc. See you guys in next video blog.